Here.
Councilwoman Shaw. Here. Councilman Oliver.
Here.
Councilwoman Burns is absent. Councilwoman Ricks is absent. Councilman Holly.
Here.
Is present via telephone conference call.
Here.
Mayor Smith was here in the building, he stepped out. This is to state for the record that this meeting is being held according to the requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act, Section 5, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975, by posting and maintaining the annual notice of regular and workshop meetings on the Borough Hall Bulletin Board, by mailing the annual notice of regular and workshop meetings for 2010, meetings for 2011 to the Union County Local Source and Home News Tribune in 2010 by filing said notice in the office of the Borough Clerk.
Mayor is present. Does that a courtesy?
We already did that.
No presentation.
No one provided to me.
Okay. Carl?
Mayor,
Yes.
interrupt, we have, Keith Barrett, Florida Carucci here, from Florida Carucci, Keith Barrett, was speaking to the ordinance, draft number 1, an ordinance amending the South Central Neighborhood Revitalization Plan, schedule regulations for new construction.
Excuse me, Dave, is your, mic working?
I'm not sure you can hear me.
Yeah, there it is.
I hear it,
Yeah,
yeah.
bring it closer, so.
Say it again.
Keith Barrett is here from Florida Carucci to speak on draft ordinance number 1. It's on, 4K.4. An ordinance amending the South Central Neighborhood Revitalization Plan, schedule regulations for new construction. It's on for introduction and first reading.
So you were saying this one every week?
Well, I'd like to move them forward since he's on the clock here to get him in and out. If there are any questions or comments.
Any questions on? Which ordinance? We have a
In
copy.
the back. Back of the package. This package here. Sure.
Oh, that's the actual. You have notification?
Yeah, we need to send that out again.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think we can turn it up on the side here.
That's fine. I'm just here if anyone has any questions. This is something that's been discussed at length before the board, for the council. There is a proposed amendment to Schedule 2, Schedule of Regulations for new construction, regarding St. George's Avenue corridor to allow for greater height and density on the, just along that one block, that first block on St. George's Avenue, commercial development along St. George's Avenue. This is something that, the board, the council voted on and sent it over to the planning board. The planning board's will be 5-day review period ends on Sunday. There's been no comment from the planning board received by the council that I'm aware of. They're not scheduled to meet between now and Sunday. Thus, the council will be free to act. That's why it's on for the first reading on Wednesday. If anyone would like, I have these are reference, the copies of the actual change, which as discussed before was the asterisk, for the blocks from St. George Avenue.
Next question. There were comments made to the planning board that developers, or somebody decided not to.
I know.
All right, let me speak to the mic. Thank you. There were comments made at the planning board meeting that the developer was no longer involved in this project. Is that accurate or is that inaccurate?
Well, it's inaccurate to the extent that there never was an official developer designated because you, as a council, haven't chosen a developer. There's an RFP that's available, and the RFP and the responses are due June 30th.
So we try to get, was there a developer name in the grant? There was a developer that you were working with?
There was a developer that put in a home grant that was affiliated with Bible Way that did put in a home grant application. Unfortunately, that grant application was denied, and it was not awarded, I should say. So right now, there is a potential project, and there's no designated developer.
Alright, so if that project was denied, and that was essentially ETC's project and Bible Way's project in agreement, okay, why are we still, asking for this revision in the plan for this setback to build this low-income housing? So essentially, what I'm seeing is that there was a private entity that wanted to develop their property. ETC was the developer that they had an agreement with. ETC applied for the home grant, which the borough was so kind to pay for. Okay, now the project is dead in the water because the grant was denied. So why are we still asking for this setback? This was not the borough's project. This wasn't our idea to put this low-income housing on this private property. It was Bible Way's idea. It's their property. So on that particular block that you're still asking for that setback and also to increase the height, that's still private property. So unless you lay out and spell out exactly why this setback is still necessary and why we're still asking to increase the density, I'm not getting it.
The borough, and this is by all members of the council, exception the councilwoman, voted to move this to the planning board because there was a desire to have a connection along St. George Avenue, promote commercial mixed-use development along St. George Avenue. Now, granted, there was an application by Bible Way and ETC for the home funds grant, which was not granted. ETC is still one of the entities that picked up an RFP, and we expect that they'll submit. I do not know if there's an existing legal relationship between ETC and Bible Way. I know Bible Way has been discussing other potential developers to meet with, but that is between Bible Way and whoever they chose to meet with. I was instructed to attempt to help get commercial mixed-use development along St. George's Avenue. In meeting with various developers, and meeting with the township planner, it was determined that to create the necessary economics for and just for commercial use along St. George Avenue, this change to the ordinance was appropriate. It's being presented to the council to help promote commercial mixed use. Now, there is nothing that requires any of the developers to do low-income housing. Granted, that was the subject of the home funds application, but it's not necessarily what an ultimate project will look like. And of course, because ultimately the council, which is the development entity, will be the body that approves the developer and negotiates the redevelopment agreement, you will ultimately have your ability to determine what in fact will be approved.
The South Central Revitalization Plan already calls for mixed use. It already has housing needs in it addressed. Okay, this was being modified to basically accommodate more density and that setback. But everything was addressed already in the original plan and the two amendments to the plan. I don't know why we're doing so directly and so specific on this 55-foot setback and the increase in density, and you're standing here being so vague, being the attorney for the borough. You're really being vague about this because if we have the amendments, if the original plan already called for mixed use. It already addressed the housing needs. Okay, it had everything in it already. If this isn't, warranted for a specific plan, why are we requesting this again?
I'm being vague. First of all, it's not intentionally vague. I'm literally telling you what we know at present. There is no plan, so I can't define what is going to go there. But there was a desire by certain members of the Borough Council in various meetings that there be commercial mixed use along St. George Avenue. Now, commercial mixed use is generally something that will have multiple floors, potentially greater density in other parts of the property. And that, in conjunction with the township planner, thought it would be better just along that band, along that 1 block or 2 block area, along St. George Avenue, and not extending further into the neighborhoods. It was appropriate to create a commercial corridor to have greater height and possibly higher density. It's the same thing that we've been saying, respectfully, I'm explaining the same exact thing that I've explained time and time again related to this particular application. I'm not changing the story. This is what was described the last time this was voted on to send it to the planning board.
You described this scenario, you requested this amendment when it was specific to a project. Now, supposedly, that specific project, because it was attached to, the home funds grant, is dead in the water, but you're still asking for the same specifics. What I'm saying is, and what I really don't understand is, the South Central Plan addresses the needs for mixed use, it addresses the needs for, housing, okay, it addresses all of that, it addresses the needs for commercial properties, we updated it twice. Now, we're just bringing back the same specific, amendments that went for this low-income housing project. So to me, it's putting, again, the cart before the horse. Because if you're our attorney, you can't be any more specific. All you know is that there's a desire to perhaps, have higher buildings and the setback so that we can have mixed use. We're talking about the same project. Really, I don't see a need for it. I think that we need to revisit it. You know, if that project is dead in the water, I think we need to revisit it because the South Central Plan speaks to all of this.
I'm not a planner.
I understand you're just,
One more time, just explain the
Just want the mic, sir.
Yes, could you explain the RFQ process to me? We have a private property, it's not our property. Can we go-
That's correct, Mr. Mayor. The area is designated an area in need of rehabilitation.
Yeah.
The borough is the redevelopment entity. Under the redevelopment and local redevelopment housing law, the borough, as the redevelopment entity, is permitted to put out an RFP, or it could just name a redeveloper. At that point, that entity gets redeveloper status. Now, granted, there's no eminent domain related to or involved because this is rehabilitation, not quote-unquote area needed redevelopment, but that development status comes with certain legal protections and the ability to designate, and it gives them the ability to negotiate with property owners. It provides them the ability to have an agreement that creates potential tax abatements or anything that the city is willing to negotiate under the local redevelopment housing law. They get all the rights of a redeveloper absent the use of eminent domain. So this is something that is within the borough's province and is used to help promote redevelopment in the area.
So, can we just make sure I understand, so with private property, no one can develop without us designating the developer?
Private property, certainly private property can negotiate a deal among private property owners, but there is an assistance when there's a redeveloper designation. There are certain benefits, legal benefits that flow to the redeveloper, and that's potentially the project that a private landowner deal would not otherwise have.
So when we do this RFQ, or RFP, RFQ, the agreement is between us and the redeveloper and developer?
That's correct. What will happen is on June 30th, the entities who were submitting right now have picked up the RFP. FIT has expressed an interest. The borough will then meet the members, I guess the ad hoc, some members of the borough will project for the borough. At which point, the municipal council will vote to approve the redeveloper designation, and then we'll do the process of negotiating a redeveloper agreement that will outline all the roles, responsibilities, including the type of development that will go on the property.
So we'll determine what type of development we want as private property.
You will have voice, yes, because you will have the ability.
No, you said not the voice. I said we will determine. We determine what goes on this property. I thought that's what I heard you say.
In conjunction with the developer, yes, because.
Right, I mean, the developer works for us, so it's just us. I'm asking you, the private property owner, are they involved? I don't hear them being involved at all. If they're not, they just.
Well, the redeveloper will have to work with the private property owner to obtain site control.
So, all right, of course, because this is property, so.
But you designate someone as a redeveloper. Presumably the redeveloper either has or has the ability to obtain site control. When you negotiate the redevelopment agreement, they will outline the nature, so it's a negotiated agreement that outlines the nature of the development, it sets forth construction timetables, obligations, deadline, potential penalties for failure to meet. All those things are negotiated by the borough council in the redevelopment agreement. And if the redeveloper does not meet either the contractual deadlines or you're just unhappy with them for failure to perform their obligations, so the redevelopment agreement, they can be designated. So there's a lot of control that the borough will have over this.
Who's going to pay this developer?
Excuse me?
Who's paying the developer?
No. The developer derives the benefit by creating a project that's economically successful.
And the other question I have is as far as site control. Why would we start this before we get site control?
Because the borough will not get site control. The borough is trying to promote an atmosphere.
No, I'm talking about the developer. You said we get site control, right? Is that what you said?
Yeah, the developer will obtain site control because otherwise they won't be able to build on the property.
All right. So is it assumed that they're going to get site control? Is it like you already have a deal that they're going to get site control? How do we know they're going to get site control?
Well, that would be one of the things. The developer who shows that they can get site control will probably be the developer that you designate if you're happy with the project. It's up to that. That's one of the key elements of the proposal is who can obtain site control. Because the borough is not taking any active role in saying this is the site control of picking developers. It's up to, by the way, for the other property owners to determine who they want to work with to provide site control to.
Yeah, isn't that putting the cart before the horse again? Because you put out these RFPs and RFQs. The property is private. It's private property. By the way, you can tell everybody to go take a walk. But of course, we know behind the scenes that's not what's happening. So why are we, the borough of Roselle, going through all these actions? And we don't even know what By the Way is going to do. That's not our property. So why are we, setting up a situation that's so advantageous, for By the Way or the developer? That's the same thing that we did with this Metro grant. We spent $12,500 for money that went out the window, paying for development on private property. And it looks like we're going down that road again. We're putting the cart before the horse. You might want to call it aggressive redevelopment, but we haven't gotten a commitment from anyone.
This is generally happening very candidly. I understand why there might be a perception you're putting the cart before the horse, but this is done throughout the state. You get a potential project. The borough is actively trying to promote this project. So they go out and they get a redeveloper, and that redeveloper designation brings with them the ability to structure a deal. And once you have that deal structured, they can negotiate with the property owner. These are the types of things that just push the deal along.
Okay, so what does the developer bring to us? They bring us the guarantee that, yes, this particular entity, this private property is going to work with us. Are these 5 developers porting By the Way in order to get the business so that we will grant them redevelopment status? How is this going? Because it's something going on behind the scenes, and we're usually on the short end of the stick, as evidenced with Metro's.
The putting out of the art, is that a statement or is that a question?
It's a question, because
We put out the RFP, and essentially just determine the waters. It creates excitement, it creates interest. There are a number of entities that candidly I did not know had any interest in coming to Roselle have picked up the RFPs. Those now, they are presumably in active negotiation. By the way, to determine who can obtain site control. Once the RFP went out, I had no contact other than a 3-day meeting here with any of the developers. I had no contact with them because we are hands off at this point. We're waiting for the proposal. But by showing that the township is willing to promote this redevelopment project, to put this out there, you are creating interest and you will end up with a project. If you were to sit back and wait for Byway or some other entity just to come by and negotiate, you're not going to end up with a project, or it'll take forever and it's not the project you wanted. And the other thing is we legitimately feel that the amendment sought will promote a commercial mixed use that is something that will create a very nice corridor that connects different parts of St. George Avenue, and it's necessary. We're here for that amendment, and we all think all these things, putting the carrot out there to show that there's an active, thorough interest in developing this and providing the right forum or scenarios for them to have a successful project, all will show benefits of later.
that amendment is, again, connected to low-income housing. The density is way up there. We've already gotten amendments, and the project is slated for mixed use already, so, although I understand everything he said, so we don't have to go round and round, I beg to differ with you, because it's just, the same horse, a different color, pretty much. You know, I don't really feel that this amendment is necessary, you know, but I guess we'll see.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mayor. I submitted an engineering report dated June 9th, 2011. We want to jump to the second page. First topic is the 2010 road project. You see the contract finishing up is paving with the additional items. We're on Fourth Avenue now. We'll finish up the intersection on the same side with Fifth and Chestnut, and then finish up over on Grant, which time we'll pave the remaining space including the land. And it'll stripe everything as well. I know there's some additional areas that would like to stripe with humble strips. Council Attorney just sent me some locations. If there's any other locations where you're concerned about some additional striping, please let me know in the next week or two. Contractor will be striping most likely at the end of this month. Chestnut Street Pipe Culvert, that project is nearing completion. It's next to the firehouse. Culvert's in place. The walls are put up and everything is being backfilled currently. The next step is to clean out about 200 feet of the stream bed to clean out that area. The borough traffic study, there's a proposal on tonight to do a traffic signal warrant relocation. They are Chestnut Fifth, Locust and Fifth, and Locust and Second. As per our traffic study that we performed a few months ago, these locations were picked out as areas that could warrant a traffic signal being installed. We're going to be analyzing it with the police traffic, with their accident data to see what's there, and to do traffic counts and necessary requirements to see if this area requires a traffic signal being installed. The DEP NJNT grant application, loan application, we've received all the documents back from the state. The SED documents, which stands for socially economic diverse requirements, have been approved. What that means is that at least 10% of the construction portion of the contract has to be done by people with disadvantaged businesses, minorities, women-owned businesses. All those documents have been approved. Right now, we're looking to put together a bond ordinance for the July meeting for this project as well as your neighbor's project. This way we can couple them together and take care of both of those projects at the same time. So, I'll be working with the finance and the bond council with that. The year 36 road project, the finalizing of the paving is just about complete. He has some punch list items to take care of. There's a proposal on for some additional inspection for this to take care of all the remaining items, as well as the closeout documents for the project. We're actually meeting out the contractor tomorrow morning to walk the 3 or 4 roadways to identify the areas of concern. This way, if we take care of those, we can close out the project and move it forward. The borough sidewalk evaluation project, I submitted a report. It was in everyone's mail slot, and I'm asking you to please review it, take a read through it. It goes, it breaks down similarly to how we did the road project, the road evaluation project. It's a ward-by-ward breakdown of sidewalk damage directly related to tree issues. So if a tree is uprooting the sidewalk, we're telling you how many sidewalk slabs should be replaced in this area for the tree. We came up with cost estimates, generic cost estimates for it, similar to the road project. And then we did a cost breakdown analysis of what it would cost for a typical private contractor to perform the work versus what your DPW would cost to do the work. After breaking it down, discussions with your DPW superintendent, it looks like you're paying for your DPW staff to do the work, it would be 3 times the cost of what a private contractor would do. My recommendation would be, if you're going to repair these sidewalks, put it out to bid, get a private contractor in, plus you get a 2-year maintenance contract. Right now, if your DPW does it and it breaks up in the next year, you're just gonna have to repair it. So, I would suggest you to read the document, look at the map, you call me and let me know I'm here, and you just talk to the CV. I'd love to go over it with you with your specific ward or with the borough consultant. Flipping over to page 3, the 2011 road project. That project was submitted to the DOT. Right now it's in for review with them. I have a resolution on to put this project out to bid. I'll coordinate with the borough clerk on getting our notice to bidders publicized and advertised. We're looking for a July award date. So at the July meeting, we would anticipate award. I anticipate seeing construction commence if all bids come in, all the documents are in order, the end of July, beginning of August. All work should be completed by December. And again, if the weather turns like it did this year, it turns pretty quick, it might have to be rolled over and finished off in the spring, similar to what we did this year. But it looks like we have 20 roads in the project to be done on the basement, which equates to 4 roads per ward. And also we have Second Avenue as 2 separate alternate bids. So if the dollar price comes in low enough, we will do those, we will recommend to do those sections as well. The 2011 outfall report, as part of the packet that I emailed to everyone, there was a training manual put in there for stormwater management. This is part of the requirement of the NJDEP and your stormwater control ordinances. My recommendation is to read it, go through it, let me know if you have any questions with it. I'm more than happy to discuss it. It basically gives a breakdown of what the borough is doing to maintain their status with stormwater management. There are concerns with retrofitting the catch basin heads to make it more low flow so that we don't get stuck in clogging the storm drains. There's also issues with allowing oils and debris to be the breakdown is happy to get. So if there's any questions, by all means, let me know. As far as the green acres application goes, I spoke about that a couple minutes ago. We'll be putting together a bond ordinance in the July meeting. And then the only other issue is, there's a proposal that's on for the zoning ordinances and zoning map revisions. I discussed this issue with the business administrator, during the recodification of your code book. This section also has to be looked at. Your zoning ordinance chapter has not been updated for many, many years. It needs to be revised along with the recodification. Your maps need to be updated. Your checklist should be updated to coincide with that of the building department and your zoning area as well. This will help advance that situation to get that moving forward and getting the code book to a normalized state that everything is covered. Any questions with that also, please let me know. That is all I have for this evening.
Question.
Yes, sir.
When we pave streets, how do we decide which part of the street or which part of the sidewalk is going to be?
For the most part, we don't recommend to do the sidewalk portions of your streets because as it currently stands in your zoning ordinance, the sidewalks is responsible of the homeowner. However, what we recommend is whenever there's sidewalks that are raised or depressed due to tree locations and that are tripping hazards, we're recommending to replace those as well right now, in addition to the handicap ramps. Some cases, like if you look at Roselle Street, we redid all the sidewalk there. The reason why we did it is because the road was about 8 inches to a foot higher than the sidewalk. So we had to build up all the grade in that location. It's really a case-by-case basis, but as far as the sidewalks go, if we're just milling and paving the road, right now we're only recommending to do the tree locations.
Well, the reason I ask is because I've got a call from a number of residents, and I'm not there myself. It was very tacky when you say you do an apron. Apron looks real nice, the street looks good, then you got those broken up sidewalks right next to it. And it defeats the purpose. In fact, it makes all the sidewalks that are bad stand out. We're doing a sidewalk program, we're trying to fix sidewalks. Once we leave that block, it should look like work that's cohesive.
Well, what some towns do is they get a curb and sidewalk program, a separate program on the.
But let me just ask this question.
Yes.
Will it hurt us if we completed the project? We've already spent $1 million to pave.
Right.
We had to spend a couple $1,000 to make sure we did a couple slabs of sidewalk just to make sure it looks.
Well, if you do that, if you do it that way, what you're doing is you're taking money away from the your paving project and putting additional money towards your sidewalk, so you might do less roads every given year. And then, if you're going to be doing that, I would recommend the borough to revise your zoning ordinance about who the responsibility is for the sidewalk.
But that has nothing, I'm just saying the way the project looks. I know, we all know across New Jersey is the responsibility of the person that lives there. But if you go in, you fix the apron, you paint everything, it looks great. To leave the sidewalks the way they are, like a couple blocks I went down, the sidewalks all broken up, they're all over the place. And we just came in and did the aprons, did the street, and just left it. And it looks.
Well, the only reason why the aprons are being done is because we're doing curves. And the curves are directly related to the aprons. So you can't do the curve in front of somebody's driveway without doing the apron.
No, I don't disagree. And actually, years ago, we used to just pave it and not do anything else. But at least we got to the point now we are doing aprons. But I'm wondering,
Sidewalk adds up. And as much as you think it might not add up, sidewalk adds up quick.
but have we done assessment? And can we do an assessment?
Just did.
We did
No.
we did an assessment specifically for the trees.
No, wait, just let me finish on this, please. Wait for a second. What I'm asking is that we had a bond for the paving of streets. part of that, we put some money in the sidewalks. As far as that bond, the money we have left over, have we done assessment to see if we can finish the sidewalks? If we have not, we can do it.
Yes, we can do that. I'm not sure how much money is left over with that bond.
Okay.
What I'll do is I'll pull the bond with the business administrator, see how much money is left over, and X amount of dollars, we can do purely a sidewalk program, to where you put out a separate bid for just sidewalks. So you can do that route if that's what the governing body is. So before I would recommend that, I'd like to review the numbers first, see where we stand, and give you a recommendation.
That's what I, thank you.
Thank you, Mary Council, have a great evening.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Resolution number, or draft number 27 is a resolution that's authorizing liens to be placed on various premises. These are all the premises so far that Public Works went out of the grass at the vacant and abandoned properties. Resolution number 27 is a resolution where it authorizes liens to be placed on all the properties where Public Works cut the grass for the vacant and abandoned properties. Resolution number 28 is in accordance with the local budget law. Last 2 months of the fiscal year, we're allowed to make transfers. In accordance with the finance office and my projections, these are the specific line items that we're going to need funds to transfer into to get to the June 30th mark. And while I'm on that note, I want to respectfully request if we could have a special meeting there on July 6th, possibly at 5 p.m., just to pass our temporary budget so that we can physically operate beyond July 1st. I'm requesting a special meeting, so I wanted to see if you would grant me my request.
6th of July.
It is a Wednesday, man. We can have it at 5, and I guarantee it'll take us 20 minutes.
You doing the 5th or you not here?
I feel the 5th, I was being respectful of anyone who was coming back from vacation at that time. 5th is not a problem for me.
Anybody on vacation? I can hear you, want to say something?
Ron said do it
My
on Wednesday.
recommendation is we do it Wednesday. A lot of people have meetings on Tuesday.
Yes, I may not be here, but we can do it.
Oh, you may not be.
Yeah. Can we do it right before the workshop meeting? Or we just do it on the
No, we have to do that immediately, man. We won't be able to spend any money after July 1 till the temporary budget pass.
right, so what's the, we're still doing that on July 1st.
Well, it's all holiday there, so I'm not concerned about that.
You said the first, what's on the first?
The first is the right before the holiday, so we'll be okay.
It's right before the holiday.
And it's a Friday night.
Yeah,
it's Friday,
yeah. So we won't be spending any money on July 1st, but once we get to July 5th, 6th, that's
Why do we have to wait till July?
Excuse me?
Why do you have to wait till July?
Your current budget doesn't expire until June 30th, so you can't adopt a temporary budget for the next fiscal year until that fiscal year starts.
And this is not gonna lie.
I'm recommending it based on past history there, because everyone, whenever I poll the council, They all prefer the discussion to be held on Wednesdays.
So we're here though. Yeah, come on.
Because I think that you do have many meetings on this,
What committee meets on the fifth? What time?
Yeah, we have an HR meeting at 5:30 that day, I think it's.
well, can we move
Wait,
that?
no, wait, I didn't hear you, Council, what you said?
I said, we have a human resource meeting at 5:30 that day, I can do 5 o'clock.
You said it only takes about half an hour, right?
All we're doing is passing the temporary budget, that's it, it's three twelve, temporary last year.
Temporary budget and a temporary capital budget.
We take a poll and see if the fifth is good for everyone, is it good for you?
When are we off? We're off that Monday?
Yeah, that Monday's the fourth.
Okay, so it's off that Monday. And there's no furlough days.
No more furlough days, after July first.
You're open, okay. All right, council, we all agree the fifth at 5 o'clock, we have a resource meeting, you have a conference. Fine, okay, you got it, David.
Okay, and then, draft resolution number 29, this is basically authorizing to apply for the local finance board for a refunding bond. Basically, what we're trying to do in accordance with our bond council is refinance about $1.650 million, and basically that will give us a savings.
Do we know how much?
The savings has to be 4% net present value. I don't have the figure, because the figure changes depending on the market. Local finance board only approved the
Yeah, they
refunding.
won't do it
If, and you have to have 4% net, 3% net present savings. So after all the costs of the new bonds are added in, the savings to the borough has to be 3% of the total issued. So
I just didn't want it to be another added expense.
it has to be a
Bond
positive.
council.
Yeah, it has to be a positive or a stable improvement.
We gotta wait. Enough bills. I have a question.
Yes.
I have a question about 28. I see where you're transferring the money to. Where is the $111,000 coming from?
In salary and wage adjustment, the first one on top of the list there.
Okay, it's coming from, and that's where, and this list on the back, is that the
That's
rest?
that's a typo, which I apologize for. And it probably came from the finance office. There's a 2-page, it's only in a 1-page.
All right, so
Anything
this
past the clerk's signature
is not,
is not part of this.
okay, and, this adds up to the 111,000, right?
Yes.
And just out of salary and wages in general, like, no police, no fire, no,
No, this is a special line item where we had salary wages adjustment, and, for some reason, we had extra money in the city.
okay.
And that could have been on anticipation of overtime and things of that nature.
I think you took care of that.
If there are no further questions, Mayor, that concludes, my report. I have 4 more items for executive session, which are, personnel actions.
John?
Other than the executive session, you have one item, I'm going to be bringing forward another ordinance for council's consideration. While going over issues today on the tax abatement, the 5-year tax abatement program, if you read our code book, it applies to residential. However, it came to light today that at the end of 2008, council adopted an ordinance and discussed with the council president. Apparently, the intent at the time was to add a different category of 5-year abatement. However, the drafting of that ordinance in the first paragraph repealed your existing 5-year tax abatement ordinance. So we basically have to go back and reinsert the repeal. So
How many executive session items do we have?
I have one,
And then you say you have four and four. So you got five.
Be pretty quick.
Okay,
Uh-huh.
thank you. Good evening, Mayor and Council. I just wanted to, briefly, review, resolution number, which shown here is draft 34, related to the alcohol and beverage control licenses renewal this year. Most of the license holders have updated, and I just wanted to review, a couple of specifics so that, the council members who've been asking me to keep them up to date have an opportunity to, get the overview on this. We have one license holder who has not whose renewal form and fees we have not received, that's Las Brasas Restaurant. One, other license holder, which is, Skylark, or the trade has Love Kush, has paid their fees and is, and has submitted their renewal, but they are not on this resolution because they are being held up due to, lack of payment or lack of tax clearance certificate from the state of New Jersey, so they have to resolve that with the state of New Jersey first. And then, also, it's worthy to note that, two previous licensees, who have been holding what they refer to as a pocket license, who had in the past renewed, but they had to go through a special process of a petition with the director of the division of ABC, apparently will be defaulting, and as a result of that, will no longer be able to hold a license, which means that those licenses are no longer going to exist in Borough of Roselle. One of those, excuse me, one of those is Penasol Properties, and I don't even recall the name of their place. This was, there was a Solomon family, there was a father and son who owned this, and I think their establishment had a fire. This was actually before I was here as a clerk, so this is going back a number of years. But unfortunately, both the father and the son passed away this past year, and the person who inherited this was not able to meet the requirements to continue its license, and they did not transfer it before the state, it fell into the state's hands. Excuse me. Also, and the other holder was previously the Rose Bowl, the bowling alley that also closed down. And apparently there's a trustee situation or bankruptcy. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but if anyone does have any further information on that, please let me know so that at least we can contact them. I just don't have anyone to reach out to, but they are also most likely going to leave. And also, of interest, we have a new license holder who is the name, we don't have a name of a company. The person's name is Susie Esterol. She purchased the license that was previously held by the Quincy Lounge, and she's in the process of getting all of her paperwork up to date, and I think she is negotiating for a property soon, so hopefully sometime in the future she will be able to set up a new, I'm not sure exactly what it will be, new business. But that's the detail on those. There are a number of other items, and that I've been discussing with Mr. Brown related to some multifaceted Oprah issues and non-responses and delayed responses from various departments, which will continue to work with professionals to resolve. And Also, related to tax maps, I've been working with Mr. Brown on that, and, we're not able currently to provide, requesters who are asking for 200-foot certified list of property owners with actually a certified list, and I'm hoping that that is something that's being addressed by possibly that one ordinance appropriating some funds. And I will be providing a few other details in the qualitative section of my report. And I just would like to thank everyone for the patience and understanding. And I'm sure you all know that we lost Jim Kern early in May, and we're trying to make do with what we have. So thank you for your patience and understanding while we're going through this understaffing situation. Yes, that concludes my comments.
I just have a question related to now that we have, excuse me, the website. Can we start to do the overs via electronically to save paper and
Well, the website, the form for the over has always been on the website since I've been here.
the form? I'm saying
The form, and as much as possible, I provide responses electronically, which saves not only on paper, but also on
what's the
mailing costs and mailing fax and telephone costs. There are other over matter or other related issues which are related to the internal mechanisms of providing the information, and that's become a very time-consuming program.
I know that I'm talking to you.
So, under Oprah, we can designate whether we accept requests by email or not, and we have the form on it.
I'm sorry, can we accept?
If we accept emails,
Right.
and it's under the case out of Union County, if we accept emails, we can submit by that. If we don't accept emails from the public, that we do. But the response to the Oprah deals with people can request the response in certain formats.
Okay.
If they want the paper, because they don't want the ability to do electronic means, or they want it in a certain electronic means that we don't necessarily provide, they have to pay for that, and the statute for copying costs.
Secondary question related to that, and I guess this would be paid, in improving the website. One of the issues is, we can print out the form. Some people are asking, is it possible to set it up so that they could actually fill it out right online and shoot it off directly to, we can, is that a matter of Alpha Dog working that out?
Yeah, we could do that. It's a policy decision if you want.
I mean, do we have to do that in some format, or you can this is just to you?
Yeah, I can take care of that. And then to answer your other question in short, if I see a repetitively open request come through for some sort of document that everyone seems to be requesting, then if there's not anything that needs to be redacted or whatever, I will just put it up on the website. And that will cut down on the open request because it will be on the website for them to pick up.
Great, that's wonderful. Thank you.
I believe some of the executive session is what we discussed finance. Some of the executive session is what we discussed in finance.
Yeah.
Okay, we have some personal action we discussed in finance, and maybe we'll discuss it. One session and then, what else? No, they're not coming. They send the report, now it's an official document, and then we will see the document, and then if you have any questions, you can call me back.
Any reason why not come?
We had a discussion with them, myself and Dave. They claim that Roselle is the only go with that aspect company. The other time they don't ask it.
Comes every single year. What's wrong? Right. I'm not going to say we did, since
They said Roselle is the only town.
Every year, the auditors have come to Roselle to discuss the audit. Every year, we've signed this sheet and given it back to Rhoda saying that we've received it, and the auditors were here to discuss the audit and answer any questions that we might have. I just would like to know, is that an appropriate response to a town that pays them the sum of money that we pay them? And they're not coming out because we're the only town? And you accept that as the finance chair? We pay, how much, $70,000 for this audit? For the 70 plus?
I told you, they say you have the right to call them if you have any questions.
Okay, and you're the finance chair, and that's acceptable to you because it's definitely not acceptable to me as a council member, and the auditors have come out every
With your respect, Councilwoman, the election is over. You know, don't
You don't
don't need to campaign anymore.
You know, your arrogance doesn't serve you, and it doesn't serve the borough as well, so, you know, you can cut to the chase with that.
So
You're
these,
so bloated with so many orders that it's really,
so what we're doing at the next meeting is voting on the audit?
Yeah.
It's on the agenda?
Yeah, she may imagine that if they didn't put it
What
in.
number? No one mentioned it. What number?
Yeah.
Next week,
Yeah, you have to.
we have the 45 days. Because we usually do it on the month
We just got it.
we just received it yesterday. Give her a chance to review.
I mean, it's the council's pleasure, really, I mean, if you would like to have it on by next week, but I haven't had a chance even to publish a summary, which I'm required to do by law.
When you finish the summary, you go
I'll be
to
able to
July.
get it published by
I
next
said,
week.
July, July.
Unless you wanna move it up to the July.
No, I'm not listening. So the process is you have to publish something in the paper? You have to publish it in the paper?
Yes, the summary must be published in the newspaper.
But we have 45 days to do it.
Yes,
And then you'll be putting together a resolution and we have to sign off on.
yes, this is the resolution.